Words that hurt. The hardest word for me was always no. For many years, I really did not know how to say it. It was a small word, but I could not use it correctly. My life was completely full of yes. I said yes to everyone for everything. I thought this made me a good person, a good friend. I learned later that I was very wrong about this indeed. My wife Jenny is a very kind and lovely woman. She is patient and so understanding. In the beginning, she thought I was just a very helpful man. But soon, she started to see the real problem. She saw that my yes to other people was often a no to our own special life together. Her warm smile started to fade a little bit each passing day. I remember one specific time my friend Jack asked for money. It was a lot of money for us then. Jenny and I were saving it for a new roof for our small house. But Jack looked so sad and desperate. He promised to pay me back very soon, so I said yes. I gave him our savings because I could not say no to him then. When I told Jenny about it, she did not get angry at me. She just looked very quiet, and her kind eyes were so sad. She asked me softly, "What about our roof?" "The cold winter is coming soon." I told her not to worry about it at all. I said that Jack was a good friend, and our money would come back to us. I truly wanted to believe it myself. But Jack did not pay me back, not after 1 month or even 2. When I asked him, he always had a new clever excuse. Our roof was not fixed that entire year, and the winter was cold and very wet. I felt so foolish and terribly guilty. I saw the deep disappointment in my wife's eyes. It was a truly awful feeling for me. Another time, I promised to help my friend Tom move to his new apartment. I had forgotten that this day was my wedding anniversary. Jenny had planned a special romantic dinner for us at a nice restaurant. I tried to do both things that day. I helped Tom all day long, and then rushed to the dinner very late and extremely tired. The whole evening was ruined because of my thoughtless promise. Jenny tried to smile, but I knew she was deeply hurt inside. I was not really there with her in that moment. My mind was still so tired from the heavy boxes and the long day. I had said yes to Tom, so I said no to a happy anniversary with my dear wife. This happened far too many times. I was always tired and felt so stressed. I had no time for myself and no real quality time for Jenny. My life was full of endless promises to other people. I was a good friend to everyone else, a great help, but I was not a good husband. I could see the growing distance between Jenny and me. Our home started to feel very quiet and so unhappy. I felt completely trapped by my own words, by all my promises. Every single time the phone rang, I was terribly afraid. I knew it was probably someone else asking for a favor. I did not want to say yes anymore, not really, but I did not have the inner strength to say no. I was afraid to lose my friends or make people angry with me. Jenny eventually stopped asking me about my day. She became more and more silent in the long evenings. The special warmth in our home was all gone. I knew I was the main reason for her deep sadness. My inability to say one small, simple word was breaking our life apart piece by piece. I felt so helpless, and I did not know what to do next. The biggest test of all came one afternoon. My friend Jack, the Jackie one who took our savings, came to me. He had a new great business idea. He said we could become rich very quickly. He just needed me to invest a lot of money to start it up. It was all the money we had left in our entire bank account. My heart sank deep into my stomach. My mind screamed at me, say, no, remember the old roof. But Jack was so excited and very persuasive. He called me his best friend, his only real hope for a better life. The pressure on me felt immense. The fear of disappointing him was so strong. I told him I needed to think about it for just one short day. That evening I told Jenny all about Jack's grand idea. I tried to make it sound exciting and very smart, but my voice was weak and I could not look straight at her. I already knew it was a truly bad idea. I was just too afraid to admit it to myself. I secretly hoped she would make the hard decision for me, that she would forbid it. But Jenny did something completely different. Something very unexpected. She did not yell or cry at me. She just looked at me calmly with her clear, honest eyes. She took my hand and held it very gently. Then she asked me a very simple, direct question. "When you say yes to Jack," she said softly, "who are you saying no to?" Her quiet words were so simple, but they hit me like a powerful storm. Who are you saying no to? I saw everything so very clearly in that single important moment. Every time I said yes to someone else's small wish, I was saying no to my own wife's happiness. I was saying no to our future security. I was saying no to my own peace of mind. It was never really about being a good friend. It was about my own deep fear. I was so scared of people disliking me. I was afraid of any conflict and afraid of being seen as a bad person. My dear wife saw the real problem inside me. She did not see a helpful man. She saw a man who was very scared, and she still loved him so much. Tears suddenly came to my eyes. I finally understood the real damage I had caused. I saw all the sad evenings, the canceled plans, the lost money from before. All of it was because I could not say one simple little word. I looked at my wife, at her kind and tired, loving face, and I felt a new feeling rise in my chest. It was real determination. I knew exactly what I needed to do right then. It was going to be one of the hardest things in my whole life. I had to face Jack and my own great fear head on. I held my wife's hand very tightly. "Thank you," I whispered to her softly. For the first time, I felt I could maybe fix the things I had broken between us. The next day, I met Jack for coffee at a small cafe. My hands were shaking a little bit, I remember. He started talking about our great future and all the money we would make. I listened to him, but my mind was very clear and focused. I let him finish his whole excited speech. I took a deep breath, ready for the difficult moment. Then I looked him directly in the eyes without fear. I said the word that I feared for so very long. "Jack," I said with a new firm voice, "I am sorry, but the answer is no." Just like that, the word came out of my mouth. It was not easy to do, but I said it. I felt a huge weight lift from my shoulders. Jack was completely shocked by my answer. His happy face changed to an angry one very quickly. He could not believe what I had just said. He called me a bad friend, a truly selfish person. He said I was letting him down badly. His words hurt a little bit, but they did not break me. I just stayed calm and repeated, "I cannot do it, Jack. My answer is still no." He left the coffee shop very angry, and he slammed the door hard. I sat there for a minute, my heart still beating fast from it. But I did not feel bad about my choice. I felt free and incredibly light. For the first time, I had chosen myself. I had chosen my wife and our own life. I felt a small new sense of strength grow inside me. I went home and told Jenny everything that had happened. I told her what Jack said and how I felt after it. When I finished my story, she had a big, beautiful smile on her face. It was a radiant smile I had not seen for a very long time. She hugged me so tightly and said, "I am so proud of you. So very, very proud." That single hug felt like coming home after a long, hard, difficult journey. In that very moment, I knew our relationship could finally heal. It was the first day of our new, better beginning. We started to talk more, to really listen to each other again. The quiet, sad house started to fill with warmth and real conversation again. Of course, some things changed with my other friends, too. Jack never spoke to me again after that particular day. A few other friends also disappeared when they learned I could finally say no. At first, it felt a little strange, but then I realized something very important. True friends do not just take things. They understand and they respect you. I started to make much better choices with my free time. I said no to extra work I did not want to do. I said no to favors that were not reasonable for me. And with every no to something unimportant, I had more time and more energy. I had more yes for my wife. Yes to a walk in the park. Yes to a quiet, relaxing evening together. My life became calmer and much, much happier. I learned that saying no is not a selfish thing at all. It is necessary for a healthy and balanced life. It is about having true respect for yourself and for your own priorities. It shows others that your time and your well-being are important. This was a very big lesson for me to learn. Jenny and I saved our money again, more carefully this time. A year later, we finally got our new strong roof just before the winter came. It was so much more than just a roof. It was a real symbol of our teamwork. It showed that we were building our life together again on a much stronger foundation. We were a proper team now, protecting our home. Now, I am not afraid of that small, powerful word anymore. No is not a bad word. It is not a negative word. It is a useful tool to protect what is truly important. Learning to say no was really about learning how to say yes. It was saying yes to my own personal happiness, yes to my wife's beautiful smile, and yes to a peaceful, honest life together. Looking back now, I am grateful for that difficult period in my life. It taught me so much about myself, about deep fear, and about true love. And it taught me that real strength is not in all ways pleasing other people. True strength is in protecting the people and the life you have carefully chosen to build for yourself. It's a good way to practice English every day. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories.